And happy Canada Day, everyone. I thought it was befitting of Canada Day to talk about a Canadian story, a Canadian record story, an international record story, and that story is Sparton Records, or Sparton-Impulse Records in particular. All right, so I know a few people have mentioned this pressing, this company over, I don't know, over the last few weeks. But I've actually thought about making a short documentary about Sparton Records because they're such, or the Spartan company, I should say, because they're such an interesting company with history into radio, into other technologies, communication technologies. And so I want to jump right into it and talk a little about the history of the company, when it was founded, and then also why are we talking about Spartan? What's so special about these LPs? What's so special about this company? All right, let's jump into it. All right, let's pull up website. Spartan is actually still with us today. Spartan Company, right? It was originally founded in 1990. And there's a nice bio here. And again, for all the things I show today, I'll put links down in the bottom. You can check them out yourself. But it's, as you can see, it's a company that has produced technologies for the U.S. Military, perhaps other militaries around the world. I'm not entirely sure about that today. But anyway, it goes right back to the 1900s. They used to be a radio manufacturer. Okay, so like a consumer radio manufacturer. So you can see that there are folks online on the web who've documented that. That's some pretty stunning pictures there. So these are Spartan. Apparently, these are Spartan mirrored radios designed by Walter Teague. Produced, looks like, in 1936. So those are pretty stunning uh, radios. So I think Spartan produced radios until roughly, I think it's like mid 1950s. 1956, I believe, is when they ended production of radios. Just check out eBay. Again, you can see, I think there are a couple of copies of those mirror ones. I think that's a mirror one here, blue mirror, 3,200 Canadian dollars. But anyway, let's go back. Got some great, they're just really well designed radios. Beautiful Art Deco one for $150 here. This one's not so interesting, from 48, 1936. Any beautiful wooden casings. You can see kind of the Spartan logo on there. This is also a really beautiful one here for $718. Anyway, I don't want to get too much. You can go down a bit of a rabbit hole here, huh? These mirror ones. They're stunning. But anyway, so Spartan made radios up until, as I said, 1956. What else did they did? They also made automotive equipment like hubcaps, brake drums, things like that. But what's interesting about, let's go back to the bio page here of the company, is that, again, check it out yourself, but there is actually no text here pointing to their records division. In particular, their Canadian records division. So it's strange, but it was funny because when I was preparing for this recording, I was obviously going all the way over the web, and I thought that, I don't know if there's a link there. Maybe someone else can track this down. But again, in the 50s, there was a company, Spartan, that were producing what were called stampings, like car stamping. So obviously molds that they were using to create hubcaps, and, as I said before, brake drums. So maybe that's the link. Maybe that's why they started to move into pressing vinyl, because they had expertise in so-called stampings. Or maybe I'm just totally full of it. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting that they talk about stampings, these molds, these kind of manufacturing molds, on their website, but they don't say anything about their company, their record company. Let's jump back here. Here's a picture of the record company or the building, the old building on Ash Street in London, Ontario. Let's let's zoom out and you can see, those of you who are not from Canada, where London, Ontario is. Okay, here's Detroit, Windsor, Detroit over here to the left. Southern Ontario, or what the locals called Southwestern Ontario. So it's pretty much right in between Detroit, and over here on the right-hand side is Toronto, my home. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. It's this whole corridor actually is a huge manufacturing corridor, as you can see, so because it's so close to the U.S. border, and also Canada's largest city. All right, so Sparton, Sparton Records started in 1930. Let's go back here. They started in 1930 in London, Ontario, as I've already said. They originally pressed Columbia 78s exclusively for the Canadian market until 1954. And then they moved their line to press ABC 45 singles, RPM singles. Okay. It was the first, Sparton Records was the first vinyl stereo pressing plant in Canada. So it does have a deep history in terms of the Canadian market as well, not just the North American market. And I think what's interesting about it for jazz record collectors is that it is the imprint for the Impulse label, specifically from 1961 through to 1967. Let's go over, hang on one second. I forgot to pull this one up here, but let's have a look for the Discogs page for, again, Impulse. Sorry, everyone, Spartan, I did have this up before. There we go. Okay, but I must have dropped it off. There we go. Sparton-Impulse Records. This obviously from Discogs. Here we can see I don't know if there's any more than 4. I think that's it. That's the only image. The 2 records that I have, let's go back here. They're both Chico Hamilton. I think I've showed these before, actually. Chico Hamilton, Chico, and they are both original Canadian, original Sparton-Impulse, and they, as you can see, are a couple scratches on that one, but they are the red labeled versions of what we were looking at before. In fact, no, that's not true. I have seen the black ones before, but I have never seen this kind of lime green one and yellow one. So that's something that I'd have to kind of dig down further to be able to kind of understand the relationships. I assume that relates to the years, but I haven't really. This is a deep dive, but it's a shallow deep dive. Okay. Anyway, so what's so interesting? Why am I so interested about Sparton-Impulse, above and beyond the fact that it is, yay, it's Canada Day today. This is a Canadian story, and it's also a jazz history story. Let's have a look. How many? So what's so interesting about this history? Holy scroll, the infinite scroll. There's 205. I don't know. You probably can't see this. There's 205 LPs that were produced at the plant. There's a mix. Here's Farrah Sanders, a lot of Coltrane. Again, it's the Impulse catalog. Let's step up to the beginning here. I'm not going to say they did both a mono and stereo for everything, but there's quite a good mix of mono and stereo releases that were released the same year as the original Impulse. All right, so that's why earlier I referred to my LPs as kind of OG Canadian versions, OG Sparton-Impulse versions. Okay, so meaning that they're put out in the same year. Okay, so that's an important thing. Why else is this an important story? Why else is this interesting? For me, it's interesting because of the quality the quality of the vinyl is very good, and also, and I haven't confirmed this yet, but many, if not most, of these releases that were produced, that were originally produced, mastered by Van Gelder, have the RVG stamp in the dead wax. Okay, so that means, of course, that Sparton-Impulse in London, in Ontario, Canada, did have the original stampers, right, from Van Gelder. Why is that important? It's, of course, it's important because of the quality of the recording, but it's also important because it raises the question of value, or put that another way, the cost of these LPs. Okay, so again, let me just pop back to me here, and again, just kind of show you, because it's easy to miss that, right? Because these are very well-known covers, of course. This one is a gatefold, much like the original Impulse one that you can see over here. Very similar. Okay, we got the Impulse down here, but all of the Spartan ones, this is how you can tell, have this kind of silvery, sorry, that's not silver, that's gold, isn't it? Spartan on the front of it. Okay. Um, so I would say by and large, these are incredibly good deals. That the price that you pay for these is significantly less than what you will pay, again, for an OG, for an original American Impulse. But again, you're still getting the same year and the same RVG stamped product, vinyl, that is. Okay. So let's just jump in to um, a couple LPs here and ask the question, how much is the Spartan version going for? Okay, and then how much is the OG Impulse one going for? So this is a wonderful album that a lot of people have in their collection. If you don't, then I encourage you to go check it out, to pick up a copy. Um, as I think I pointed to in another one of my videos, a lot of the Spartan LPs are a little harder to find. There's not as many around, and there are not many that have been sold online. Okay, but you can see the one that has sold back in 2021 sold for 35. There's only 35 people have this copy. 144 are looking for it. But maybe the reason why 144 are looking for it are, as I've said before, they're stamped. And if we go down to the original, let's go up here, make sure I get the right one. Here we go. Let's just go to this one, the first US one here. So again, the last time it was sold, the Spartan version, $35, and here the average is 213 Canadian dollar. This is Canadian dollars because set to my preferences here, and they start selling at $272. So what's that in American dollars? It's about 230 US dollars, something like that. Okay, so that's a huge difference, even though, again, maybe I didn't pick the best example because there aren't any Spartan copies available. But let's see. Let's go down the line and see if we can find other ones. Here's Love. Here, let's go this one. Let's go to Love Supreme afterwards. Again, these are all very well-known albums. They've been reissued a lot, but you're interested in getting an early version of these LPs. Okay, well, how much are we talking about? Here is, this is, do I have the original one? Sorry, everyone. Let's double check. Okay, there's the Spartan. There we go. I was on the wrong one. There's the original, like OG 1963 Sparton-Impulse version. This one again has stamps, Van Gelder stamps, and the median is 27. Again, unfortunately, nothing's for sale here. Again, these are very desirable LPs just because they're early. 426 people are looking, and they're looking because look at the price, right? They're kind of the average is just over 27 Canadian dollars. Let's have a look and see how much the original American Impulse mono. There we go. So there's 3 available for $267, averaging $163 dollars. Okay. So again, huge discrepancy. So there's not a lot of the Spartan ones online, obviously, and I'm only picking a couple here. Again, there's over 200 Sparton-Impulse. Check it out, do a deep dive, and see for yourself the price difference. Now let's finish just by, again, of course, an iconic LP. Let's go to all the versions here. And let's find our way down to the Spartan version. This one came out in '65. Again, the same year as the original Impulse. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, well, wow, look at that. So the average is just under 40 Canadian dollars, or about 32 US or so, 30 US. But there's only 2 available online, but obviously someone is getting wise to the story I'm telling today, right? Because there are 2 for sale for 225 Canadian dollars. So that actually seems to be a huge bump up from the kind of listings that we've seen here before. The last time it was sold, mind you, is 2017. So that probably explains something. Okay, so those are going for 225. Now let's have a look at an OG Impulse, American Impulse. Well, it's kind of interesting, huh? So there are 123. Again, if I had a little bit more time, I would have gone in and looked at the condition. But still, again, there are some LPs out there that are selling for quite a hefty amount, even for Spartan. But I'm going to say, if you go through, again, well over all these 200 LPs made by Spartan, yeah, double check, see if there's stamps in all of them, or all of the ones that Van Gelder mastered. So that's something to do if you want to continue this deep dive on Canada Day, or if you want to run with this, those of you south of the border, on July 4th. Yeah, please leave me a comment and tell me if there's a lot of Spartan LPs that don't have the stamper. Okay, this is homework for everyone. And price. So I found one example of, again, that iconic I Love Supreme, which fell out of my general argument. That is, these are much, much cheaper Impulse albums, originally put out in the same year, and have, for the most part, we shall see, Van Gelder stamps. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Check out my channel. Check out the new, I put in a new, looks a little off center. My logo is a little off center, but the last logo was so ugly. Anyway, so I'm trying. Hit that subscription button, hit the like and the thumbs up, and I'll see you another day here on the OJSeez, the Jazz Tourist.